Make your day right. Gilly Bonny Online TV. Kupata habari mpya na kwa haraka kila siku, usisahau kusubscribe kisha like na comment. Gilly Bonny Online TV.
Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is with a lot of humility and gratitude to Almighty God that I stand before you on behalf of the government and the people of the United Republic of Tanzania. After 16 years since we hosted such a meeting, to welcome you again to Dar es Salaam, the haven of peace, and in particular to this building of Julius Nyerere International Convention Center, and to the session of Council of Ministers of the 39th Ordinary Summit of Southern African Development Community. Indeed, it's an honor, and we are grateful to host this summit after 16 years. The chairmanship we are assuming is a reminder to us Tanzanians, and probably many of you, of the modest role we played in the liberation struggle of Africa and the establishment of this august body, which is today SADC, on principles of African unity and solidarity. To some of you, this city, Dar es Salaam, and many other places in Tanzania, such as Nachingwea, Kongwa, Mgagao, Mazimbu, and Kawa, and Morogoro, were a base for those fighting for liberation, and therefore holds a special place in your hearts. We were fortunate to host the forces of many movements, such as the People's Liberation Movement for the Liberation of Angola, MPLA, the African National Congress of South Africa, the Pan-African Congress of South Africa, the Mozambican Liberation Front Frelimo, the Zimbabwean African National Union ZANU, the Zimbabwean African People's Union ZAPU, and the Southwest Africa People's Organization SWAPO from Namibia, and many other organizations. We are not far away. It's a walking distance to the former headquarters of the OAU Liberation Committee. And I encourage you, when you have time, to go and visit the area, which is close to the Mozambican High Commission and opposite to the Egyptian Embassy. So, we are thrilled by your presence in Tanzania, Your Excellencies. This is an opportunity for some of you to trace your roots, refresh your memory on the liberation history, to visit the liberation historic sites, and pay tribute to those who died and were buried in Tanzania during the struggle. This year marks the 20th anniversary since the demise of Madam Julius Kambarage Nyerere, who passed on in London in October 20 years ago. We remember the role of the late father of the nation, Madam Julius Kambarage Nyerere, and other leaders of the frontline states and the Mulungushi Club for their contribution in our freedom struggle and the quest for unity. We should therefore be reminded of those who made it possible for us to meet today as SADC, and their portraits are in our gallery. The three, Nyerere, Kaunda, and Obote, were the founders of the Mulungushi Club, and always they met in Lusaka to deliberate on how to support the liberation struggle in Southern Africa. And thereafter followed the frontline states, as you can see, again of Madam Julius Kambarage Nyerere, Kenneth Kaunda, Samora Machel, Serese Khama, and Augustino Neto. And again, many of their meetings were held in Lusaka. And this is why the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Namibia, who was Mama Swapo in Tanzania, he flew with Mwalimu in his plane more than Mwalimu's ministers. There are the founders of the South African Development Coordination Committee. So, honorable ministers, we welcome you to this beautiful, historic, and brother and sister country. We believe your stay in Tanzania will bring and strengthen the bond, the relationship that Tanzania has with your respective countries. In the words of Mwalimu Nyerere, and I quote, "Without unity, there is no future for Africa." Surely, our unity in the SADC region is our strength. Karibuni sana, Tanzania. Honorable ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we take over the chairmanship of SADC, on behalf of all ministers, I would like to thank the Republic of Namibia under the able leadership of His Excellency President Dr. Hage Geingob for overseeing SADC activities successfully for the last 1 year. On your behalf, also I wish to thank the outgoing chairperson of the Council, my dearest sister, Honorable Netumbo. And in the course of operationalization of the theme, we will emphasize on the need to access and improve our investment and the business environment in the light of industrialization. We have in place the SADC industrialization strategy and roadmap. We need to assess how far we have mainstreamed it in our specific initiatives. We still need to engage in dialogue with private sector in the light of the role of our sustainable industrial development. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the very aim of our integration, among others, is to boost inter-regional trade. As I speak, inter-regional trade in SADC countries is low, below 20%, hindering member states from realizing their economic potentials. Over the past few days, a lot has been said on factors that affect low trade volume in the SADC region. Efforts to increase inter-regional trade through implementation of SADC protocol on trade and the establishment of SADC free trade area must be hastened. Honorable ministers, this meeting is taking place while there is a lot of pressure outside our region to form various kinds of free trade arrangements like COMESA, EAC, SADC free trade area, and the African Continental Free Trade Area in which we all participate. These efforts are very important, and they remind us to accelerate our integration process to match the momentum in order to remain ahead and focused on the objectives of our integration as we have always been. If we do not hasten our process, these changes happening outside will force us to run. I am aware that these issues have specific sectors to be considered, but since the Council is the heart for providing strategic direction on how SADC should approach and move forward with all the unfolding dynamics, such as the rising unilateralism as opposed to multilateralism, I have no choice than speaking out now. Therefore, I hope the decisions and directives of this meeting will ensure our integration is not hampered by these dynamics of the world, and our regional integration will move forward to greater heights. Honorable ministers, before I conclude, indeed I thank all of you for the messages of condolence and sympathies to the tragic accident that happened in Morogoro in the eve of our meeting. Indeed, we thank you all for your sympathies and for those messages, and may God bless you all for that, for being touched with what has happened to our people here in Tanzania and in Morogoro. In conclusion, allow me to thank the permanent secretaries, senior officials, and the staff of SADC Secretariat for the good work in preparing for this meeting. Their dedicated work has simplified our work today, and I believe it is going to be a meeting which will end successfully. Once again, I welcome you to Dar es Salaam and wish you a successful engagement during this session, and want to assure you I am your humble servant. I'm ready and prepared to serve you humbly and with a lot of humility. Once again, asanteni sana. Muito obrigado. Merci beaucoup. Zikomo pambili, gari boha, niabonga, and all the other languages of our blessed region. Thank you very much for your attention.
Make your day right. Kiliboni Online TV. Kupata habari mpya na kwa haraka kila siku, usisahau kusubscribe na kubonyeza button ya notification.